5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full course yellow is deployed. Full course yellow is deployed.
Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Full Course Yellow. A bit of a sort of relaxed program tonight. Wasn't going to do one actually. Not a huge amount of news to talk about. There's a bit happening. There's always a bit happening in the world of motorsport, but plans changed at the last minute, and I just thought, let's just have a bit of a get together and have a bit of a chat. So I mean, it's going to be driven. A lot's going to be driven by you and by our panel here tonight. Because I certainly haven't put in any work. I've had enough. I've had a terrible few days, and I just want to talk about motor racing tonight. So, if you got any questions, if you got any, not just on motorsport, but anything at all, basically, we're just having a chat tonight. So it's if you think the program is normally ill-disciplined and freewheeling, boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. Now, joining us on tonight's chaos, let's have a look at. Let's have a look at the Rogues Gallery. We've got Peter Johnson joining us once again. Craig Doc Lanigo. We've got Mark Jones coming to us from the wilds of Queensland, and from the wilds of Gippsland, we've also got Richard Outram as well. G'day, guys. How are we?
Very good, thank you, Brett. How's yourself? You're looking pretty. Look, you've got the email to get the black and the red going on the t-shirt with the background.
Having said, that's why I'm telling you, I haven't come back from France. I mean, it was just, it was magical. Yeah. It was absolutely, it
color
was
coordinated. You're sick of green and gold, and you want to go black and red instead.
Yeah, well, there's an Essendon joke in there somewhere. I mean, but
that's a fall.
Don't tell it. It'll just bomb.
Thank you.
Very good.
That's it. Mark's done for the night.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, that's all we got time for tonight. I don't think we're going to improve on that. So
golf claps.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we won't. We definitely won't talk about football tonight. I think all of our. I don't know. I think all of our teams are just lost on the weekend.
So, I've got 17 injuries on the list that are respectable. So lucky to make the 8.
I hope you can see a. Oh, okay. Never mind. See a doctor.
Yes.
Is that an Essendon joke as well too?
Yes. I think so. I think so. We
17 injuries.
That's no. That's the Baggers. They've lost their 2 big guns and they're decimated. And anyway, you can blame Essendon, Swans, or the Baggers the fall from grace from this year. But the AFL got what they wanted, haven't they? From second till about the 13th, they're all about one game apart there about a week or two ago. So, however, Victoria won't have a Victorian team in the finals in first week, which makes it's probably not their premonition though. I bet.
I mean, the thing that they'd be worried about most of all, I mean, if it turns out to be a Brisbane GWS grand final, that would be the AFL's nightmare or at least the Victorian government's though, in terms of the Victorian Tourism Commission, that'd be their nightmare because, people who's going to turn up to the MCG, they'll still get a crowd, of course. They'll still get but obviously it'll feel like. I mean, it'll be like I suppose it'll be like the state of Oregon.
Maybe I'll get a ticket.
It just might not sell out until 3 days before the grand final instead of on the day that tickets are released.
Yeah. So as I say, people might get a chance to go and see some footy if they want to see it. The problem with the footy is it's with the grand final is it's always. It's often filled by the people. It's one of the things that they say. The atmosphere wasn't quite. It's because most of the corporate areas and the members area are filled with people who aren't really fans. I mean, the real exciting matches to turn up with are the preliminary finals because you get all of the members, you get all the regulars. The grand final comes around and you have people like my uncle and auntie who, when they were alive, they used to go. Regularly because they were in business and they'd always get these corporate tickets and literally they would ring me up sort of the day before and say, now this game tomorrow, now it's very who's playing, Who should we be supporting?
I don't know if anyone saw the news about 2 weeks ago, but so the AFL have responded a little bit to your uncle and auntie. God bless them if they're still with us. Yeah, the backlash has been for a long time. So they finally managed to scratch back to some of the tickets, and they've got apparently a few thousand tickets back from what that was in the corporate sales, and given them back to the members and maybe a couple of the general public. But yeah, it's clawed back a little bit, but yeah, it is a. And the first couple of weeks of the finals, they haven't increased the price of the tickets. So they might have been looking at the prediction ladder and thinking, well, there's not very Victorian teams anyway, so we're not going to put we won't get a crowd if we put the dollars up on the tickets.
Speaking of ticket prices, and I just got this before we came on air. I just got the release from the European Le Mans series.
Whoa! So we finished our AFL segment.
Yeah, we finished our AFL segment. We've still got cricket and pro wrestling to come. I've got
Wait,
both
what?
those things, actually. We've I got something I saw something from the European Le Mans series. The next round coming up, the 4 hours at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Coming up now. This is just a tip. The European Le Mans series has been absolutely exploding in popularity. Really big fields, fabulous racing, LMP2 and the GT cars, the GT3, GT LM cars. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, really terrific. There for a premium ticket, grandstand seating, pit walk, grid walk, and paddock admission. How much do you think it is for a premium admission in Australian dollars?
Aussie dollars?
Yeah.
Aussie dollars, yeah.
For the European Le Mans series.
$150?
150.
700.
700.
One donut.
That'd be a good
One
donut.
policeman's donut, Jonesy.
Richard? You're on mute, Richard.
You see, I'm looking at Australian prices, and I reckon $450.
450 bucks. Well, as it turns out, Mark is the closest with his donut because in Australian dollars for that weekend ticket with all of it, it's $19.
Oh,
General admission is $12.
Sensational. I love it.
Yeah.
I went on the
I
lower
can
end,
almost afford to
150.
fly over there.
Well, I was going to say.
Well, I got the last time I went to Le Mans, I got the general because that was the time I didn't have media accreditation for that one, and I just bought on the Wednesday. I just bought a general admission ticket, and that at the time was €75, which was about 150 Australian, and that's general admission for basically 4 days at Le Mans. So I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty good value at the time, but it just shows. I mean, it is a special offer. If you pay the full amount, it goes from $19. The full amount for the weekend, with all of those things included, is about $30.
Oh,
Bit
man.
like let's flip
That's
to
a
the next
rip-off,
subject.
really, isn't it?
Horse race.
Okay.
A different sort of horse racing. And for 36 hours, it's on sale right now if you want. Instead of $99 a ticket, the VRC are advertising today. You can get a ticket to any of the 4 big days for $35. So everyone's got sales on at the moment.
What for?
Okay.
Does that include
Who
the cup?
wants to go and see Bathurst?
Yes. So if you want to go Derby
has
Day,
anybody seen the Bathurst experience being advertised on one of the marketing channels?
what's
You
that?
can
this
get
is
the
one
whole
about
Bathurst
driving.
experience with. Yeah,
This is
you
one
can
about
see it
driving,
all. You have a decent.
Yeah.
No, it's
All right.
it's a spectator only. You get pit walk, and you get the room, and you get the food, and you get the flight up, and how much for the 3 days? It's about $3,500.
Way.
Bargain.
Come
Bargain
on,
is half the
cheapskates,
price.
dig into the pocket. Come on.
As Brett's saying, I know
You
he's
could
not a
get
big
an
fan of
entry
horse
into
racing,
Charlton.
but- Go, Mark.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Doc.
You're right. I was just going
I was
to
just
say, I was answering Brett's question. So Derby Day, Stakes Day, Oaks Day, and Melbourne Cup Day, the 4 days. The tickets are on sale at the moment. they've reduced them down to $99, down to $35 general admission for any of those 4 days. Right now.
Geez, that's saying something. That's very cheap for the Melbourne Cup. I wouldn't do it. Mind you.
I've done them all over when I was back in my 20s, and it wasn't just about going to horse racing; it was about going and having a good time at the cup and
meet
being able
chicks, wasn't it? You're trying to hit on someone.
See, I was trying to back a winner. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, I was trying to back a winner. Yeah. Anyway,
I'd be thinking that
might have backed a couple of winners in my time, but and have placed a few bets with the bookies as well too. But it's about the fun. It's about the experience, and I can say I've done the Melbourne Cup as just what I did see during the week though. Well, I know horse racing's up there because it's their weekly occurrence. Did you see the New South Wales government wanted to sell Rose Hill? So they announced it last December. They were going to sell Rose Hill. This is completely gone under the radar. However, the Rose Hill is owned by its own turf club by about 12,000 members, and the government said they were going to sell Rose Hill and build 25,000 houses. Anyway, there was huge uproar because no one knew at the turf club, or only one. Sorry, Peter Volandis and a couple of others from the New South Wales Rangers. Good on you, Mark. Exactly that comment. And the guy who runs the guy who's CEO of the turf club, absolute members just revolted on him, and they're going to vote for it by the end of the year. It won't go through. It's an absolute joke.
Well, that's what we've got our fingers crossed for Sandown. I mean, there is a growing move within the Melbourne Racing Club, the owners of Sandown, from the members saying, we don't want to sell it. We have no need to sell it. We don't need the money. We've got money, just money coming out of our arse. We've got so much money, we don't know what to do with it. Why the hell do we need to
they feed it to the horses.
Well, yeah, I mean, the horses.
I can promise you that.
Those drugs aren't cheap. But anyway, let's say hello to some of the people who are joining us tonight. Hang on there. Let's go through the roll call. Well, g'day to Box is there. Paul Nackers is with us again. G'day, Paul. Good to see you again. We've got Jared is with us again. Breakdancing 2025 Sydney Super Night. Yes, it'll go well. A special appearance by Raygun. I finally got to see that just before we came on.
Really?
I haven't been able to. I haven't tracked down
you could have skipped it.
The thing is, I don't know whether it was good, bad, or it just looked to me like breakdancing.
Did you look at the Jimmy Fallon version or the Raygun version? No,
the Raygun version. Yeah, but as I posted online, the kangaroo, this is the pro wrestling. MJF in AEW did it first, did it better. Okay. And Kane Pollock, g'day, Doc here, free lunch. There you go. There's no such thing as a free lunch, Kane.
KP, just a quick background. KP, I caught up with his nephew on the weekend when I was umpiring over at Langy, and I said to his nephew, won't mention his name, Westy, by the way. I said, say hello to your uncle for me, because KP and I used to do the footy together at local and VFL level, and he's good to hear from you, KP. You're a good bloke, and we used to do radio together. And there's this guy out there in the Gippsland League, and he was a lovely guy, and he's passionate about his football. And KP used to tee him up every week and say, "So where's the cucumber sandwiches this week?" And good on you. Thanks. Good to hear from you, KP.
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us. Well, let's talk a bit about motor racing. We're on a break at the moment from the world of Formula One. Not an awful lot happening at the moment. It's fairly quiet. So
the 4 seats. You could talk about the 4 seats available.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing as to who gets. Interesting that Zhou Guan Yu has come out and basically said that he's not confident of having he said he's 50-50 at the moment, but the way he's talking, he's sort of saying that he's probably not going to make it. But the interesting thing is he's also come out and talked about like the racism within Formula One. He said that He said that as the first Chinese driver, he said that I faced a lot of racism compared with a lot of other people in the sport. He said that there are all sorts of bizarre conspiracy theories as to why he was there, and I mean, it's obviously the fact that he is from China has obviously has had. I mean, that's not racist. That's just fact. I mean, it's just economic fact that the same reason that Logan Sargent is very popular in terms is still there because they want an American driver. They also want a Chinese driver, and if they could find one who was good enough, and there's a couple coming through in the junior formula at the moment, they'd absolutely adore it. A competitive Indian driver, that's for sure.
Yeah, there are a few. Now you mentioned it, there are a few in the
We've already got a black one who's good. Well, he thinks he's black. But
and he thinks
he looks pretty black to me.
He tells everybody else he's good, and he's won a few he's won a few championships.
Yeah, that kind of
so good on
that's
him.
a big tick. Yeah.
Well, that was the interesting thing. I mean, when he won his first race in Canada, it was the weekend that we were at. It was a Le Mans weekend, and it was actually after the Le Mans weekend and after all of the things that happened sort of around the world in terms of news, the front page of the newspaper, the Le Monde, the World, the front page of that on the Monday morning was, and this is the literal translation. Black man wins Formula One Grand Prix race. And that was the front page news story, and it took up the whole front page. It was like, oh my God! It was just it was
not his name, just black man. That's
just
pretty.
Black man. Black man.
That's disgraceful.
Yeah.
Even for 10, 20 years ago, that's still it's just not.
So that's how.
What was that? The KKK Weekly Times or something?
Yeah. Good on you, Rick. Yep. We'll call it what it is. I think. Thank God. Some the media in the world, hopefully a lot, have progressed in the world and come to respect others in the world the way it is. Unfortunately, there's still some that don't still disrespect the fellow world human beings.
I'm sorry, I love it. Just what you said. I just saw because I was in a rush and the spell checker's taken over, and I see the lower third rolling by at the moment, saying that Ampol have re-signed with Tripe for Tripe 8 for the next few years. So,
what a bunch of is that a bunch of Tripe?
It is a bunch of Tripe. So Tripe 8, yes.
That's what your grandfather or grandmother used to say. It's a bunch.
I'm more concerned about eating a dinner that's been flavoured with Ampol. That's I'm not thinking.
I'm more worried about the Tripe.
Spicy.
I look forward.
I say that as one of the rare things.
Flambe though.
I like a bit of tripe. I really do. I'm very fond of it.
I look forward to going to Sandown 500.
You up tripe, Brett.
Pete?
I look forward to going to Sandown 500 and having free tripe, free lamb's heart, Triple 8 racing.
You're going retro round, Pete?
That'd be a real retro round, wouldn't it?
Tripe is definitely retro.
It's very, very retro. Well, not in some cuisines. It's still around. It's still around. In fact, there's a Vietnamese restaurant over at Springvale, and they have a lot of. There's hundreds of Vietnamese restaurants right across Melbourne, but they're all sort of they sell the pho, they sell like the lemongrass pork chop and all the rest. It's pretty much standard line and length stuff. There's a place over at Springvale, at the Springvale shopping. They have more regional sort of Vietnamese food stuff that And one thing they do have, they have it sounds terrible. They have an offal soup, which has lots and lots of bits of it.
Sounds awful to me.
It is beautiful. It is fantastic.
By the way, everyone, it's just tuned in. Brett did warn, if you've missed the start of the show, he did say we're going to talk about anything and everything tonight, plus a whole lot more. So this is Brett's Cooking Corner segment as well, too. So
on an almost similar subject.
If you're thinking about motorsport, we'll get to it eventually.
Eventually.
On an almost similar subject, and also backtracking to early in the conversation, there used to be because once upon a time, Spam used to sponsor the Brisbane Lions, and at the Gabba you could get a Spam burger.
Oh yes, I've heard of them.
Monty Python, where are you?
Yes, spam, wonderful spam.
It wasn't bad, actually.
That stuff's got
the
that
funny
much
thing
preservative
is,
in it. You can open the can, it'll never disappear.
I mean, I suppose it's probably similar in taste to a salt lick.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you've ever been to Hong Kong, spam is huge in Hong Kong. You go to the cafes in Hong Kong. Every little cafe you go to in Hong Kong, there is always spam on the menu. There are spam burgers. There's spam done in batter. There's spam. Spam is it's massively popular.
Deep fried
over there.
spam. Wow.
Yeah, same
Bars,
with Korea.
bars, spam bars.
Korea, you check out Korean food, and there's a lot of spam recipes for there because of course all the Americans brought it over, and it was really cheap. So they were, as with Vietnamese food, with the banh mi was basically an appropriation of a French baguette, and it's like oh yes, a bit of pate and a bit of whatever, and they went well okay, but that's a bit bland, but let's stick some chili in it, let's whack some pickled carrot, and while we're there, let's put in some some roast pork, and suddenly you've got the best sandwich in the world.
Hang on. I've just got Miguel on the phone. We're going to put Brett in for capsicums and Mark in for the tomatoes for next week for every ready steady cook. Cool.
I'd love to do ready steady.
Yeah, love your work too. See,
I'm
mate.
sure you would.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That'd be great fun. But anyways, yeah. So that's spam.
I went racing on the weekend.
What's that?
Were you up
there's great racing in my part of the world.
There's great racing in our part of the world too. The rally I didn't get to go to. Oh damn.
Yeah, there you go. In Hawaii as well. It's big in a lot of places like this. A lot of places.
The original ham and pineapple.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's it. Richard, so what, you were up at Winton, were you?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Oh,
great racing.
Well, tell us about the weekend. I've only seen the stock car stuff. I did a report for Roy. Roy's got a new website, Car Racing News, that he put up there, and he asked me if I'd do a report on the stock cars, which I just put in today. So I watched the 4 stock car races, but that's all I've really seen from Winton. So how did your weekend go, Richard?
Well, I got at least 2, perhaps 3 PBs, but I'm still at the back of the grid. It doesn't matter what I do.
You got big shoulders.
But then
must have been a few PBs there if you got them, and they did too.
But the point is, everyone turns up with a Pantec these days. I turn up as if it was the Armstrong. I'm an amateur at the Armstrong 500. You got sailors there. We have a whole factory full of historic and race cars, and only a small part of their factory is for business. You've got the Ambrose there, of course, with Ambrose Motorsport, everyone's a lot better equipped than I am. But I'll keep pedaling.
Well, it has become the unlikely new first step into heading to supercars. I mean, that's why like Ambrose's daughter is there.
That's right.
There's this whole, you've got even people we spoke about J. Robotham last week. People who are still racing in a lot of Cooper Motor. They still go back and they're having their fun and keeping their eye in while racing excels.
So Richard, are you racing an XL just for our viewers and listeners? Yeah, cool. And the field, how big is the field?
Only 20 cars. They've dropped off. All the people with little budgets have disappeared. It's only principally people with a good sized budget left.
Well, is the club racing this weekend at Phillip Island? Is there a round this weekend?
No, it couldn't be. because there was club racing last weekend, and the state round the following weekend.
Yeah, well, that's what I know. The state round, yeah, the Sandown. So are you entered for Sandown?
Yeah, I'm entered for Sandown, and there's only about 20 cars there.
So this is the problem.
It used to be 30 plus.
Well, that was the problem. I mean, they decided they pulled the plug on the state round because they sort of said, look, we've got 40, 50 cars there and we want more track time. We want to be able to split our fields into, the Masters and the Profession and all the, the silver and the gold and the platinum and all the rest of it. And of course, there just wasn't the room on the card, and they said, okay, well, we'll go elsewhere. And so they ended up going to things like August Access and now the VMRC.
All right. Here we go, Brett, because obviously you and I had the information, but I've got it ready at hand. August Access on, I'll just do Saturday for now.
This weekend,
HQs, HTC, sports sedan, saloon cars, Formula Ford, Formula V, improved production, and the E30s. So there's your categories for the weekend.
That's not this weekend.
Yep, that's this weekend.
No, because it's only this weekend is supercarts. I think they might be
Prod
Excel, but this is
Prod
Sports. Yeah, Prod Sports.
That might have been round 3. Sorry, round 3. My apologies. Was round 3.
So that was So this is a very, very small supercarts only running Saturday. I'll be down there on Saturday. Hopefully. We'll be down. Well, yeah, you've just said that you'll be down. So Doc and I will be down on Saturday, waving the camera around, and also I'll be out on at weather permitting. I'll be out at Calder Park on Sunday for the off-street drag racing, and so I won't be filming there, but because I'll be too busy doing the commentary, so I'll be out there sort of on the.
Right, it's actually raining Friday, Saturday, 17, 15, Sunday overcast 14. So actually the best of the 3 days is
best of the 3 days. Yeah, I think we're just keeping our fingers crossed we get enough in between the showers to go racing, because everybody's been saying, we want full on drag, because not what they've done in the for the. Recently is they've had half the meeting has been drag racing, and then they have a break, and then for probably at least half, if not a little bit more than half, they've run roll racing as well. And the roll racing is incredibly popular, but all the drag racing people, go, this is, we don't want this roll racing. We want proper drag racing. And I've got to admit, I mean, that from my point of view, I'm going to be a lot happier being able to call drag racing than I am the roll racing, because the roll racing you get no readouts in terms of times, you get no readouts in terms of speed. It's not really. I mean, it's just about driving fast and it's very hard to get a good start. I mean, you have a look and you think, hang on, how could that be a legal start? But if they stop them to get like a good start on every occasion, you never get any racing done, so they just basically let it go. So at least with drag racing, you've got a proper start, a proper finish. You'll have a time, reaction time, all of those figures. So look, all the drag racing people out there, all the people who said, you don't have any drag racing anymore, get out there, even if it is a bit miserable. Check the Calder Park Drag Racing Facebook page. If the event is on Sunday, please go out there and support it, and then you'll get more drag racing. Because I can tell you now, if they don't get the sort of field that they need in order to cover their costs, you won't see much drag racing at Calder Park. They'll just say, let's just turn it over to roll racing and leave it at that. Because they do get really good turnouts for the roll racing. A lot of people, a lot of particularly younger people and people with, cars like the more modern cars, are very, very keen on the roll racing, because they it suits their cars a lot better. It's a lot easier on drive trains and all the rest of it. It's a lot easier driving. It's just basically roll through, get it up to a speed and plant the foot and go flat chat. So lots of fun, but and for me, I'm old fashioned, not as good as drag racing.
Before we leave the Formula One subject completely alone, and getting on the supercars by the looks, a Michael Schumacher Ferrari has come up for auction at Sotheby's this weekend, if anyone's seen it. Just a tidbit of information. It is chassis number 215. For anyone who has got the bank balance to provide a deposit for starters, you're looking, 2 or 3 have come up in the past, you're looking at about £5 million convert that if you want, at your will. And that's at Sotheby's in California. So, just a little bit of that.
That's coming up this week. It's the Monterey. It's just come up really quick. The Monterey Revival. It's one of the biggest historic meetings in the United States. They usually do have it. It usually is live streamed somewhere, but it moves around. Sometimes it's on things like Motor Trend. You got to pay for it. But last year it was on YouTube, but I haven't seen any. Like notification as to where it will pop up, if anywhere, this year. But it's always fabulous to see, because you get all of the cars that you just don't see at any other historic meeting sort of in Europe or anywhere else. All of the old IMSA cars and a lot of old Trans Am and stock cars, and and then the open wheelers, you'll get a really good field of Formula One cars, but you'll also get Formula 5000s and of course the Can-Am cars as well. Not sure whether George Vidovic is running his McLaren there. He ran there somewhere, I think it was at Road America just recently, so he might be there this year. But there's always amazing fields at the Monterey Revival. So keep an eye out for that on the weekend.
A couple of quick things too. Obviously, Doc had to self-administer some medicine in the last week, so I didn't quite make the rally. Brett and I kept an eye out. A big shout out to the guys on YouTube doing the covering it. They were absolutely. I think Priya Richards, a friend of ours from the Richards family, she does a lot of media stuff as well. Not just not in the shadow of Stephen or Clay at all. She's absolutely awesome. She's been on the show with us before, and a big shout out. It's good stuff Priya was putting up. However, it was a big success down there. They did the stuff in sale on the Friday night. Got a huge crowd. Got to meet the drivers. Got to see the cars. It was really, really good. I was so disappointed I was unwell and couldn't go down and see it. So well done to Rusty and the crew down there getting on board and doing all that rally stuff. But a little bit of news that's come out in the last 24 hours is that Ford, their M Sport part of the World Rally Championship, how they rally it. This is probably going to be on a low key or a bit more interesting than watching Drive to Survive. They're going to do a 6-part special documentary on their 13 rounds of the World Rally Championship, and it's going to go right across the whole board, from not just the drivers and just seeing a few cars going around, throwing some dirt around. They're doing the whole lot, the teams, the background, the heartache, the good, the bad, the ugly. So keep an eye out in the future. I can't remember when it was going to be released, but the World Rally Championship, it's really good to see a proper 6-part documentary done by Ford and M Sport. So keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, that'll be good. How long are we away from Formula One again? It's the end of the month, isn't it, Pete? Yeah. So we're
28th.
So that's Zandvoort.
No, 20. Zandvoort. Zandvoort. 26th, actually. 26th.
Yes. So we'll have news of that coming up. Now I will just let you know for all of the regulars on who are joining us. There's not many. I think we started the night with 20. We've got 8 left. But for all the regulars who do join us every week here, there will be some changes for Full Course Yellow. We've got to decide what we're going to do. We'll probably have to move to a Thursday night, and the reason for that is in this time slot on Channel 31 will be in Pit Lane, 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night. Now they're moving us a night forward, and they've really bent over backwards. They said, look, we want to make sure that the news gets to air as quickly as possible within the limitations of the budget. So we unfortunately can't go live. Well, we could go live, but it would it'd cost us several $1,000s an episode. But they're going to do a really short turnover. They're basically sort of going to put on someone special, just who's going to come in Wednesday, basically, and their job is going to be to ingest in Pit Lane so it can go to where at 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights. We'll still be doing the show from the studio live. There'll be some changes there as well. What we've been doing is we've been going up on doing the show live on Facebook, and then basically taking that down, and then later on putting the edited version onto YouTube. for a whole bunch of reasons I won't go into, but basically a lot of them involve sort of the possibility of money and all the rest of it. We are going to try and push more and more people to the YouTube channel. It's a far more reliable video platform. It's a much better platform for video, and we also have the opportunity that if we get enough people watching, we can make at least a little bit of money out of it, and basically we need every cent we can get. The cost of doing the show has gone up, like incredibly, and anything that we can get at all is certainly going to help out. So we're going to sort of move Facebook. The Facebook page will still have live stuff, but it'll be sort of casual stuff. It'll be stuff like this. It'll be stuff that like we're out at a track somewhere and we go, this looks good, let's go live. And so that sort of stuff will still pop up on the Facebook page. So keep following that as well, because there will be behind the scenes stuff and previews of what's coming up, or quick behind the scenes, but not actual programs. So the actual show will go to air at 9 o'clock on Tuesday nights, live on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel.
Wednesday nights.
No. Tuesday nights live.
Tuesday nights. Yep.
Tuesday nights YouTube live. Yep. So that will be that'll be coming up
as per usual.
But only on YouTube. We're not going to do Facebook anymore. Yeah, so Facebook for the show itself, for In Pit Lane, we're going to change that around, because it's much better off that we're on YouTube. And the more people who support us on YouTube, and if you're watching us on YouTube now, anybody watching us on YouTube, whether you're watching us live or you're watching us after the event, just click that thumbs up button. If you want to support us, click that thumbs up button and give us a like, or if you want to leave a good comment or anything, it makes an enormous difference. Someone told me today that if you get a program that gets over about 400 likes, the difference it makes in how YouTube promote it is absolutely enormous. It's like I saw someone today who was just they had about 200, and they said if we can get to 400 likes, in his case, because they have a lot of they had a lot of people watching. They had like around 2,500 people watching, but they still only got sort of because people just go, just click the button on all YouTube channels that you like, not just us. If you watch something on YouTube and you like it, live streams, Blendline, all of those, please hit the like button. It's desperately important, really important.
Probably just as well we don't go live on Wednesday nights or Tuesday nights anyway, because then we'd have ACMA chasing us anyway. I think you and I, with some of the behaviour that happens around the studio, Brett, at that time.
Oh, we're still going live. The only thing is we're going live on Facebook.
No, but if it was on channel 31, ACMA would be chasing our tails. I reckon some of the shenanigans we get up.
Well, the thing was we were live for probably 18 of our year, and it was just. But unfortunately, the cost of going live now, we need to be able to cover the cost of all the people at the channel 31 end who make that possible, and that means basically paying them wages. And that's obviously impossible. So so it's not going to happen.
Past the channel 31 studio for the first time a few weeks ago. I've got to catch up with you about that, Brett. I didn't even realise where it is down there at.
I haven't been to the new one.
Oh, I accidentally fell over it. Literally, basically, I was walking past a footpath.
Must be very small. I knew it was small. I didn't know it was that small.
It's got Bang Studios next to it as well too, which I was invited in, quarterly invited in. I was walking past and looking like a European tourist in a land that you've never seen before, and this girl happened to say, "You right there? Can I help you?" I said, "No, just I've never seen the." This is outside the building, of course. It's down near the Melbourne Convention and Event Centre. Jeff Shed there. And I just walked past and went, "Oh, this is where it is," because I was parked in nearby. And she goes, "Would you like to come and have a look?" I said, "I actually don't have time right now, but I will, and I'll take you up on an invite another day," because I said I'm part of just do a little bit of stuff with the production. I didn't disclose what we do, but yeah, it's down there. I'll let you know a little bit more about it later. You can look it up on yourself on the internet if you want to know the location.
Oh yeah, I know the location.
Not
just
you, I mean the viewers, listeners.
I haven't had any need to actually
I know where it is now.
There.
Cool.
Well,
there's a lot going on with massive amount of MotoGP because it's back in full swing. Did you know? So huge.
It is back. Yes, it is back in full swing. So tell us about it.
So, yep, cool. It is, well, first of all, it's the next round coming up this weekend. It is the Austrian Grand Prix this weekend. So the Red Bull Ring, basically, they're going to be over there racing around. Just a quick recap on where the standings are. So Jorge Martin is 3 points in the lead, and Mr. Bagnaia is on the Factory Ducati, is just behind him in second place. But the big news this week in the last couple of days is, well, as our favourite, Thriller Miller, he's been thrown a lifeline. So, Brett, if I forget to put any details in about this, he was possibly being given a lifeline. He could have been going to World Superbikes with Ducati next year. However, now that there's just been a merry-go-round of teams changing manufacturers and Ducati's going back from 8 to 6 next year and so forth and so forth, the Gresini team is going to go to Yamaha next year, and they had a spot available and next to Miguel Oliveira, and it's going to be the factory bike as well, though, too. Pramac Yamaha. Sorry, Gresini is still going to be, what's his name, with Ducati, but yeah, Pramac Yamaha, Miguel Oliveira, and it was spotted Thriller Miller in the paddock last week with the round back there at the MotoGP, having talks, and as a reputable news, newspaper over in Europe is saying that the signed, sealed, and delivered. It's just got to be penned. It's basically all sorted out. So hope that works. However, a little bit more of the details has come out of what happens at Gresini. That's why I got my names mixed up a few minutes ago. There's a guy called Lindsay Fox who happens to be a billionaire in Australia, if you haven't heard what he does before. And he owns the Phillip Island circuit, which we all go down quite regularly. Richard, myself, and Mark probably wishes he did. Mr. Lindsay Fox decided to have some talks with Gresini, and he talked to the matriarch. She owns the team, the widow of the former founding owner of it, and he offered a undisclosed sum to buy the team. So, give or take a couple of dollars here or there, Foxy's apparently worth $4 billion, 4 billion Australian dollars. So he's got a little bit of spare cash to throw around, and no one knows exactly how much he offered, but he was going to buy the whole team off Gresini. The thought crossed her mind. She said, no thanks, but no thanks, just so he could keep, obviously, Jack Miller on the grid for 2025. But looks like he may still be on, what's his name? Now, the other big thing is the old rivalry, and I hate to bring this up every 5-6 weeks, between Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez has reared its ugly head again. So Rossi's been asked his opinion on what he thought of Marc Marquez joining the obviously the factory team for Ducati next year, and Rossi has come out and said it is a joke, quote, a joke, and he's still having trouble understanding it. So now that's the exact words of what Pierce said. When they asked Bagnaia, he wasn't quite as forthright with his opinion, but he said that it'll be super good or a disaster, and their quote word for word as well too. So there's a bit going on over there with the old Marc Marquez and the Ducati team. But anyway, stay tuned. There's always a bit of fun going on every week, and someone
Speaking of bikes, as Paul's saying there, the final round of the Pro Motocross Series at Queensland Moto Park, located between QR and Morgan Park. And Mark, just quickly, you did some. You were at a QR again, weren't you? Or was it Morgan Park?
No, QR last weekend and next weekend, but not this weekend. We had the Motorsport Australia Queensland Championships weekend just gone. And we had some fabulous races. Oh, the XLs were brilliant. Formula Vs were fantastic. We've only got 2 guys at the front of the Formula field at the moment, but they're so evenly matched. They're so good together. They're both called Alex, and it's watching the 2 of them go at it is an absolute treat. And and like I said, XLs were great. We had a huge field of production sports cars. Formula Fords, of course, was there. Sports sedans ran in a combined group with Mark cars, and there were 6 of them. There were only really improved production wasn't a championship round for improved production, so there were only a small handful of those cars entered. And they're all grouped together. The Daniel Crompton was out there in the Crompton family Ford Mustang, front-running sports sedan, and that was the only serious opposition to the Mark cars. He was matching them for pace until a cam follower didn't want to cooperate with the Crompton Mustang anymore. But there was good testing for them. But yeah, the Mark cars had a round of one of their series, and they had there were 6 of them there. There were 2 Mark 1s. One of them both of them with relatively new owners. Actually, the former Jake Camilleri car has now found its way to 2 best mates, Ant Basile and Todd O'Brien, who have raced in a number of categories, and now they've got this the old cherry red Mazda 3 Grand Prix Mazda car, because Jake's moved on to GT4 now and has got himself a Mercedes AMG GT4.
As you do.
As you do. But they also had the 5 big cars actually there, but unfortunately Darren Curry was ill, and the new IRC Mark car Camaro unfortunately was in the garage all weekend. But Daniel Jellison was out there driving the Hargraves car. Kyle Girton was out there with the red Mustang. Jeff Taunton, of course, in the green and yellow sports sedan Mustang, and Axel Donaldson in the white and orange Mark II. Mustang. I said they're the Mark II cars, and the variants of them, like the 2 different, like there's the 6-liter version for sports sedan racing and the 6.2-liter version for GT racing. And they're weapon quick. They're doing 68s these days around Queensland Raceway. So they're
a nice looking car too. I mean, we've seen them. They're rather popular because it is. I saw something on a sports sedan on the sports sedan Facebook page the other day where a lot of people have said a lot of people who are building traditional sports sedans and have been building them for years and years and years, who are just saying, "Oh, I really wish now that I'd have just, if they'd have been around at the time, I'd have been much better off just going up to Mark cars and saying, hey, give me one of those things,' and sort of wait 6 to 8 months and have it delivered on a trailer somewhere." But the only problem was, and I think this is true of the problem with sports sedans, is half the fun is building them, and half the fun is making them as crazy as possible. And that's why historic sports sedans are so good. There are people making sort of we've been talking about that with over the last couple of weeks, and I've had correspondence from quite a lot of people now telling me of some amazing things that sort of replicas of various cars. And there's also a thing where it's cars like that thing that we saw at Winton, which was effectively a 57 Chev with a space frame underneath it and all the rest of it. And there are things like that. There's an FJ, there's a new V8 FJ being built somewhere. Somebody's building a sort of a super tribute to Peter Brock's Austin A30, which that's the plan anyway, which is going to have it's going to have a rotary in it. But
the Austin I just saw a good friend of ours of the show, so to speak. We don't catch up with him at all, very often. Fletch did a special of the Holden Museum down there at Trafalgar a little while back, and he put the 3 shows he did together over the years and mashed them up together, because I think his name was Noel or Neil. He's passed away just recently, and that Austin's down there. Just a little bit of information. It's a great special. So jump on YouTube. I think it runs for about 28 minutes. So have a quick look at that. However, I'm not plugging Fletch. I did see during this week as well, though, too, everyone was they saw the museum up at Echuca folded recently a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago as well, though, too. I saw some good news today. I think it was yesterday or today. 25 of those cars were bought by a enthusiast, and he lives in Coffs Harbour. And he loves cartoons, and he's turned his museum of cartoons into a museum of cars and cartoons now. So he's got those 25 cars there on display up at Coffs Harbour. So they are
awesome
for the public to be able to enjoy as well too. So yeah, there you go.
Well, hopefully
will
we
the
see
public-
that 'cause it's
you know what it needs now is just a little side exhibit of featuring cardboard packaging, and that way it could be cars, cartoons, and cartons.
Thank you, Pete.
So will the public be able to enjoy it? Like these collectors, they collect the cars.
Yeah, no. They're on display. So he's got rooms with the cartoons on the walls, and one of them was a Brock. I think Brock Turan. It was about 25 as well. So yeah, he's got them on display already, so you can see them.
Fantastic.
Yes, that's great. So he bought a great big lump, 25 of them, and he's already got them on display for people to enjoy, which is fantastic.
Speaking of classic cars, Mark, Leyburn Sprints this weekend.
Yes, indeed. And just on the subject of historic sports sedans, Keith Carling's bringing his RX-7 up for the sprints. So yeah, Group U is one of the categories in the historic Leyburn Sprints. The also John Bow is actually going to have a run. He's going to have a run in Dennis Brown's Mark I Ford Escort.
He's like Chicken Man. He's everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah,
He is.
Hey, listen, if there's any opportunity to grab a drive of something somewhere, Bowie will.
I love Bowie. Don't get me wrong. He's a great. Whenever he sees Brett and I, he can't hang around long enough and have a chat with us and just chew the fat. But seriously, what car does what? Where isn't he, and what doesn't he drive? And anyway, he's fantastic.
It's handy to have him. I mean,
really.
If you ever had, like, I always thought if I ever sort of won the big lottery, the big 25 million or something like that, and I bought sort of the car of the race car of my dreams, I certainly couldn't get in and drive it. But if you wanted to see it out on the track and you wanted somebody behind the wheel who would drive it properly and drive it safely, but also drive it to its potential, you'd be straight on the blower to Bowie and just say like,
Bowie. I bought a Series 3 GT. I just wondered if you could just drive it around the Hampton Park Tavern a couple of laps for me just to see how it handles.
I tell you what, somebody was doing laps on a motorcycle last night at about this time last night around here, and I swear to God that it wasn't. If it was road registered, it was very, very loud. It sounded like a race bike to me. That's
illegal, very, very illegal.
Oh, very illegal. Yes,
exactly. Hampton Park illegal drags. Just go up and down Pound Road.
And by the way, for those of you who follow my personal Facebook page, the Peugeot that has been sitting in the Hampton Park Shopping Centre car park for the last 6 months has finally gone. It went on Sunday. So,
Jesus, how the hell are we going to?
It would have made it good.
How are we going to get the backyard of yours mowed now? They've got a bloody car sitting in the back of it, bloody killing the grass.
Yes.
The amazing thing is, as I said, it's been sitting there for at least all year at the Hampton Park Shopping Centre car park out the back near the salvos. And it's been sitting there with a flat tyre. It's 4 Michelin Super Sport tyres, almost brand new, really lovely, really good condition by the look of it. It's been sitting there for 6 months. Nobody's vandalised it. Nobody's stolen anything off of it. It just sat there for months and months.
No one's fingerprinted it.
No one touched it. But as I said, I posted it on, and then I went over actually Monday morning, and I drove around and I sort of walked past and went, whoa, hang on. And it was gone. So someone's picked it up, but it was a nice
You've alerted
nice
the world,
car.
Brett.
Nice
That's your
car,
fault.
So if you were the one who picked that
It'll
up,
turn up on the racetrack now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. It'd be a good sort of cheap lap track.
Hey, Richard, Bowie's unavailable this weekend. I was just wondering if you could take a car for a black thing I've got down there at Phillip Island run for me this weekend, would you, Richard?
I was going to say, I wonder if you take her for a run for me.
Bring your tyre jack and some tyres, please. Preferably about a 14-inch size, thanks.
One of the Victorian Group N competitors is coming up for Leeburn, just by the by. A bloke by the name of Greg Menzies with the Mark II Jag. I don't know if you guys know him or not.
Oh, yeah, we
Probably
don't see as many of them as we used to, do they? There's a couple of them, and if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's a beautifully turned out car. We used to see a lot of them, like quite a few of them
Yellow?
out there, and they just it's very very nicely turned out car. So it's
Sandy, I think we've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly been out there a few times at various meetings, and both the historics and the state level. We just don't see. That's the thing about Group N now. I mean, there was a lot of variety in the early days when it was established, when Max Stale and others sort of brought the Appendix J thing back and started to run it. There was lots and lots of variety in the field. People would go out and find basically any old car that fitted sort of the pre-72. And they would hot it up and they would go racing with it. So you had Fiats and you had old Austins and all sorts of things going around, and you don't see it anymore now. It's really just it's Mustangs and Camaros and Tiranas and Falcons and a few sort of under 2 litre things, but like you got your Escorts and a couple of Rotaries and a few other things like that, but you don't see too many. You don't see too many things like Michael Stuttgar's Hillman Imp. That was a
Ian Wells' Hillman Imp, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there were a few of those sort of cars around.
And there's plenty of Group N's that are going to be running at Leeburn. So there's including an Hillman Imp, just by the by, Richard. There's a regular Hillman Imp in the entry. There's also there's a Victorian Triumph TR7 coming up as well. A guy by the name of Ansel. We've got some fabulous cars that are coming. Oh, on the subject of Appendix K, and then just shifting the letter one further down, one of the regular competitors at Leeburn is a vanishingly rare Appendix K car. And this is the car that was driven back in the day by John French, a Centaur GT with the powered by a Holden motor that's been breathed on quite heavily over the years, and it's a magnificent car. The car's maintained in museum condition, and I'm regularly astonished by the owners of these particular car, and they bring around four cars to Leeburn each year, and they're just beautiful. A couple of Centaurs, there's an open wheel car that it's just slipped out the back of my mind at the moment. But up at the pointy end of the field, there's some really nice stuff as well. Dean Amos is bringing out that glorious Gould hill climber. It's a regular competitor there. Warwick Hutchison's Mazda rotary powered RPV, which, by the way, his Warwick Hutchison's cars were always called RPV J4F, rotary powered vehicle just for fun.
Right.
And a few.
So I take it. I think we've covered that. There's no. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any live stream. Is there?
Normally there is.
Okay.
I believe there is. We certainly had one last year.
We'll keep an eye out for that then.
Well,
now you've got me,
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. I'm going to interrupt you deliberately. I'm Brett's subject there. Please, if you do have the live stream, put it in our Full Course Yellow group chat link for us so we can look at it.
Yeah, well, we'll certainly pop it up on the. We'll certainly pop it up on
Brett can relay it.
We'll pop it up onto the.
Give it to us, Mark.
Onto the Facebook group, and if it's on YouTube and it's on embed. Well, I was going to say we'll stick it on the website. At the moment, I don't think we've actually got a website because, as I said, I've got my email is all over the place. We're in the business of transitioning to to a new hosting service, and
it's up for renovation. It's getting renovated at the moment.
It's very much getting, and it'll be a slow reservation because I simply don't. It takes a lot. Thank you. He's probably not on tonight because he's been too busy trying to sort all this nonsense out for me as well as doing his real work. But thank you to Roy from Online Invent, who has been sort of leading me through the process, and it was far more complicated than I thought it would be, but we are getting there slowly but surely. But I can only do sort of little bits at a time because I thought I'd go and press a couple of buttons and it'd be done like that. No, it takes a long time, and it's probably a few days away.
It takes a long time to renovate a house. You got to put the sheets down.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You got to take the furniture out.
We are going, and as the ticker goes through, Ampol re-signed with an equal sign rather than
with Tribe.
With Tribe 8 for 3 years. So there you go. Congratulations to Tribe 8.
It could have been F Troop. F Troop was a good show back in its day in the 70s. Yeah, it could have been F Troop.
It could have been F Troop. Hey, listen, thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. We just sort of got together. Probably we'll be back next because we'll have supercars to talk about, if nothing else, on the weekend. They're down in Tasmania. Might have some insights. I've got somebody got a contact. I've got somebody down in Tasmania who might be getting a bit of an exclusive chat with somebody very interesting in the world of supercars. Shocked me when he sort of said to me, "Hey, you interested? I might be getting a chat with." And I can't tell you who it is.
Don't tell who it is, but just at least give us maybe a genre. Is it maybe someone who turns a wheel, or someone who gives orders, or someone who?
Probably not a driver. That's hashtag not a driver.
Thank you for that's good. That's a bit of an incentive. That sounds good. Yep.
And there's so many jokes I could throw in there as well.
Yep, that's a teaser. That's all we need. Just a little bit of a nibble. That'd be good.
Is it to do with a mountain that's named in New Zealand?
Oh God, Pete's fishing. Pete's fishing.
We won't. As I said, it mightn't come off. I mean, when he rang me and told me, I just I said, "How did they?" And he said, He said, "I rang. Somebody gave him a number. He rang and got talking to this person and said, well, when you're down in Tasmania, would you mind if I come out and have a chat with you somewhere and catch up with you either at the track or outside if I can't take the camera in, but either way." And he said, "Yeah, not a problem." So, that's
so Pete's fly fishing, or is he deep sea fishing? Is he just bloody dangling his line in the creek? Anyway, but
hey, here we go. This is tuned in on a flight from Darwin to Adelaide. That's the sort of thing you can do now. That's on your plane.
Thanks, Mark. Good on you.
When Stuart and I went up to do the live stream from Hidden Valley, the Qantas plane we were on had Wi-Fi, and we got up there, and Stuart went, "The Wi-Fi is surprisingly fast," and we just looked at each other and went, "Can we live stream from a Qantas plane?" Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I'm very surprised Mark Goldsmith, Mr. Goldie there, said there he's a great broadcast because, Rich and I haven't even mentioned about our nuts tonight. So that's usually the most entertaining part of the whole night.
I don't want to I think that's a very good place to move out. I will just remind you once again that In Pit Lane is coming back on the new time slot on Channel 31 on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. Coming up, as I said, new night on Channel 31. And also we are moving the program. The live stream of the program will be moving from Facebook to the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Click the notification bell, because whenever we do anything, and there will be some stuff coming up, there will be, in fact, might even, now that I know Doc's coming down to Phillip Island on the weekend, we might even have a bit of a play, because I want to get everything set up. I've got some new gear that I want to test out before we head to Baskerville and do some stuff there. So I want to. So if I can set that up in time and get that working, Once again, we're still, I need batteries, and the batteries for these things are a couple of $100, so I don't have a couple of $100 at the moment.
So we're getting the hamsters out and do some test training anyway. So tip of the week is get the torque wrench out, and don't forget to tension your nuts when you're racing this weekend.
Yes, that's it. And on that note, we will say thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week on a Wednesday night. But remember, we will be moving Full Course Yellow. It'll sort of work out better because we'll have the live show on Tuesday night. If you want to watch it over on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have the live show on there, and then we can talk about anything that was raised or any late breaking news. We'll be able to talk about on Thursday if we choose to do it. So that's probably going to work.
There will be some late breaking news definitely every week because the music coming up again in the second season is going to be superb.
Yeah, I tell you what.
I've got some bands lined up. Brett's got some stuff lined up. I've got some stuff lined up. It's going to be.
I've got a band that contacted me, and I thought, they sound interesting. And I went and looked, and I went, holy wow! They're going to be so good. 7-piece band.
I've got 3 bands and a solo artist, and they're banging on my door, just saying, when can we get on this?
Yeah,
so
this is the problem. As I said online. Music, we've got no problem. Well, this is the problem. I put online, hey, we're coming back for a new series. There's opportunities for drivers, teams, car clubs, all sorts of people to get some prime time, free to air television. And as I said, when I went and said, hey, we're coming back on the music, within 24 hours, I had 42 responses. I've had 1 response for motor racing people, and it was like, can we do it on Zoom? I don't want to come into Melbourne because I live out in Box Hill. So Pete, perhaps you can hook them up to the back of your chair and sort of drag them kicking and screaming into the bloody joint.
And just quickly, the last thing on the note of the music quickly, Michael Prizeman, and a great mate of mine, and I've introduced him to Brett years ago, and he's a great friend of the show for Brett and myself. Michael's always helped us out. He's going to have a new lineup and wants to come back on. He's almost our house band. He comes on once a year and he brings in a new lineup. He's retired a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations, Michael, on your retirement.
Hasn't been a long retirement. I'm retiring. By the way, can I come back on the? I've got a new band.
I think he's doing more Facebook posts about bloody gigs he's doing than he's ever done when he was actually working. So. Looking forward to catching up with Michael. Big hello to Michael, and he rang me this week and says I want to come on this year again too. So
cool. There you go, Pete. Anyway, box.
Come on, Pete. Give us the wind up.
And there's speaking of Stuart, hello to Stuart there, and perhaps we can speaking of live streaming.
It must be the wrong night. Nylons. Oh.
Okay, we'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you. Quickly.
Shout out to Adam Ronke, who's doing a bit poorly at the moment. So.
Okay, that's no good. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, but obviously from the Ronke family, from Benalla, and Adam with Tampa Motorsport and those. So good luck to Adam, and hope everything goes well. Get well soon. Okay, everyone. We'll see you next week. Until then, thanks for joining us, and bye for now.